It's the Brad and John Show.
The Brad and John Show for Wednesday. My mic's too hot. Let me turn it down there. For Wednesday, October 15th. This is the B block, the Bravo block, which means we start it right around 7:20. We're a little bit late this morning, as always. John, what do we do in the Bravo block?
Top 3.
It's time for Brad's Top 3.
I didn't have you potted up there. Sorry, John. Yes, it is. And ladies, I know you have to do it twice. And we start off with...
It's number 3.
Okay, here's something that I saw on a couple different websites, and apparently it was like one of these AP photos. And I thought to myself, that's interesting. And I didn't say anything about it on the air. I was going to make a comment. It was a picture of some Texas National Guard guys getting out of their Army trucks in Chicago. And what was interesting to me, did you by any chance see this picture? It was.
I did not see this picture. No.
It was all over the national websites because it was like.
Were the agents like, quote, going after children?
No. What's interesting was there's like 5 or 6 dudes. They're all dudes in their uniforms, and all of them look, shall we say, on the heavy side. Matter of fact, one of the guys who's in his uniform is like, holy cow, I wonder if the buttons will stay on that uniform top, or what they call the BDU, whatever. I don't know what they classify that uniform as. And I thought to myself, they look a little bit on the overweight side. So, John, this morning, guess what one of the stories is? One of the stories is, you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. Is it about... Now, when you say they were overweight, do you mean the ICE agents?
No, the National Guard guys.
Oh, I'm sorry, National Guard.
These are the Texas...
It seems like Pete Hegseth would want to have something to do with this.
The Texas... Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point. The Texas National Guard guys, and there's a picture, and like I said, it was a wire service photo. In the old days, we called it wire service photo. But but it was a picture of these National Guard guys. There's like 6 or 7 of them in the frame, and all of them look to be, shall we say, well-fed. The headline is... Texas, this is yesterday, Texas National Guard members removed from 60-day Illinois deployment for, quote, failing mission requirements. The Texas Military Department, TMD, confirmed to Fox News Digital on Tuesday that it replaced 7 National Guard members who were deployed to Illinois amid civil unrest, citing the service members' quote, failure to meet mission requirements. About 200 Texas National Guard troops were deployed October 7th for a 60-day mission to protect federal personnel. During the pre-mission validation process, blah, 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 the affected guardsmen were returned to their home station, though the department did not specify the reasoning for the removals. And it says the announcement comes after a photo showing a group of, and this is the photo I saw, a group of service members arriving in Illinois went viral on social media with critics speculating about their fitness. And matter of fact, you haven't seen this? Okay, here, I'll tell you what. I just screenshot it. I'm going to send you the picture real quick.
Yeah, send it to me. I'll take a look at it right now.
Okay, hold on. I'll send you the picture, and you take a look at it. And it's to the point where I was going to talk about this, but I thought to myself, nah. And I'll send you another picture. You don't say we promote the station. I'm going to send you 2 pictures here. Okay. The first one is, you take a look at those dudes coming off the back of the truck. They're getting out of a truck, a military truck. You got it yet?
Yeah, I do. Oh, this is funny. Bill Eigel Parkway.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the other picture I sent you. You say we don't promote the show. I bought.
Yeah, I mean you're not going to put any spend behind it, and other than throwing it up on your Facebook, you'll do nothing to promote it. But let's see. Oh wow, yeah, these guys are a little bit chubby in this National Guard picture, Brad.
That one guy on the right, see him with the duffel bag slung over his shoulder. He looks a little bit on the heavy side, wouldn't you say, John?
Yeah, and I'm guessing so. We did have 4 years of Joe Biden as president, and I think it'd be unfair to blame fat people on Joe Biden. But, I mean, isn't this the time for us to, start getting some guys that are in shape?
Well, I think that's what Pete Hegseth talked about. The fact that it's sort of like, I don't quite understand this as well, too. But I used to live in Hazelwood, okay? And there were 2 police officers who worked in Hazelwood at the time who I say were over 350 pounds. And I am not exaggerating. I mean, they were big boys. How in the world, as a police officer, isn't part of the deal of being a police officer staying fit? Because you got to chase down those criminals and stuff like that. And,
Yeah, but I think you have officers that are designated as chasing officers, and then you have ones that just lean on the back of the guy's neck.
Okay, whatever. So
You just put a knee in the back of the neck.
So apparently the Pete Hegseth thing is catching on because once again, I saw this picture. I thought to myself, do I talk about that on the air? Nah, because that
Well, what's wrong with it? Because they're fat?
John would say I was being fat shaming. But once again, the point being is you want our militaries, guys, to be lean and mean fighting machines, right? Even if they're in their guard.
I don't. I want them to be diverse. I want them to have a wide range of hair color from purple to blue to green.
Okay, I get it. You ready for number 2?
Let's do it, Brad.
It's time for Brad's number 2. It's time for Brad's number 2.
And once again, the city of St. Louis, and for those of you who live here, will say, well, that's the city, but yet when it hits the national news, it's the entire area. The city of St. Louis has its sheriff in jail. Have you seen this story, John?
I have seen it, Brad. I have several links up on johncombest.com today.
Does this make us look like a bunch of jerkazoids or what? I mean,
Yeah, St. Louis City previously had a stellar reputation until Alfred Montgomery came along.
We didn't have any problems with Kim Gardner. She was great. And Tashara Jones, she was great. And all the other, Vervis Jones. And what was the guy that was that was St. Louis County. He had sex in his office that he recorded. That was Dr.
Yeah, that was the county, though. We can't blame that on the city.
The county. The sheriff is in jail. And the crazy thing about it is he's still getting paid. Do you know this part of the story?
No, tell us about it, Brad.
He has not officially been removed from duty, so therefore he's getting paid and he's in the jail that he essentially somewhat supervises. I know there's other people beneath him that are direct supervision of the jail, but the sheriff's purview, part of his job is the deal with the prisoners in the jail and stuff like that. I know they issue, they serve subpoenas and all that kind of stuff. And the crazy thing about it is, how is he in jail? Because this time he was witness tampering, and supposedly there was a burner phone involved where he was making calls on his burner phone to his employees telling them not to testify against him. I think they call that witness tampering. Isn't that what they call that, John?
I think so, yeah. But you know what? He's smart to go do it from a burner phone, right? Just go to Walmart and buy a little cheapie. Nobody will ever know, right?
Right, nobody will ever know. The sheriff of City of St. Louis is in jail. I mean, it's just like, and what's crazy about this is, you think this is a joke. This is almost like something you'd see on Babylon Bee, right? Oh, the sheriff's been arrested. And at one point in time, before this, I don't know if you know this part of the story, when he was essentially in some hot water before they actually arrested him, he was on home confinement with an ankle bracelet on. He had a tracking bracelet on one of his ankles. It's just, does it get any weirder than this?
I don't think so. But remember, people get the government they deserve, don't they? Like, if you choose to live in St. Louis, what do you expect? They can't all be Kara Spencer and Donna Berenger,
Oh, man, it's just, you just look at this and you just shake your head and you go, okay, this, and
I think you just need to roll the dice to see if you get to come back here tomorrow, Brad.
Well, not just any dice, John, right? Not just any dice.
Well, yeah, wait a minute. Are they silver or are they platinum? I don't remember.
No, they're golden dice, John.
They're golden dice.
Golden
I thought maybe they were like a palladium or something.
No. Okay, ready for number 1?
Give it to us, Brad.
And now, big finish, Brad's number.
There are times when I say to myself, people who are in government, they just want to F with people. You know what I'm saying, John?
Oh, Brad, that's cynical. What's this example?
St. Peter's, the sunflower story. You familiar with this story?
No. What happened with sunflowers?
You don't know about this story? You really don't?
I don't know about it. You got to tell me about it,
The
Brad.
guy's name is Chris Bank. And for 4 years, he has fought the city of St. Peter's because what does he have in his front yard? Sunflowers.
Sunflowers. Does he grow native grasses?
Big old monster sunflowers. And he's fought the city of St. Peter's for 4 years. And he admits that it's a principal thing at this point in time. And he says that he has spent $30,000 in legal fees. Now, This is why lawyers like people like this guy. Instead of spending $30,000 for maybe, well, I don't know if you can buy too many cars for $30,000 anymore, but you probably could buy something. Maybe there's like a Nissan or something you buy, or like a Kia that you could buy under $30,000. Instead of driving around in a new car, he probably bought a new car for his attorney. He's been fighting this for 4 years. It went to court yesterday. And matter of fact, he lost. The judge sided with the city, and get this is the interesting part of the story. He was originally cited under an other ordinance. The city changed the ordinance and made it specific to this, and he got convicted, or essentially he lost his case under the new ordinance that the city of St. Peter's put in. Now, what's interesting about this is, if you read through the story, and this is a story you should know about, John, because the story, here, let me dig into this. The story talks about, essentially, get this, under the new ordinance, sunflowers are now classified as a crop. Get it?
Wow. Okay. So the city, I just want to make sure that we get this right. The gentleman might not have been violating the old ordinance.
Well,
but the city wanted to stick it to him, so they passed a new one, and now they're charging him with violating the new ordinance.
Well, I think he was violating the old ordinance in the respect that you had to keep your grass cut, and the idea being that these sunflowers.
So if they classify sunflower as a crop, then they can go after him and say, look, it clearly says here you can't grow a crop.
Okay, get this. Let me read the whole thing. Under the new ordinance, sunflowers are now classified as a crop, meaning they can only cover up to 10% of a front yard, a shift from the 50% grass covering rule he was first cited for in 2022. Banks argues that the charge unfairly targets him, and he says, quote, a crop is considered obviously planting and consuming and growing and then actually selling or harvesting your product, which I explained to them. I don't do either of that. They're a flower. I plant them just like any other flower, but I don't harvest seeds or sell. The city says that sunflowers qualify as a crop regardless of how they're used. The new ordinance also counts the grassy space. This is the good part. The new ordinance also counts the grassy space between flower rows as part of the planting area, something Banks says doesn't make sense. In other words, if you have like a row of sunflowers and you have 5 feet, and then another row of sunflowers, you have 5 feet, they consider that 5 feet of grass as part of the planting area, thereby declaring it part of the crop. Does that make any sense to you, John?
Yeah, I mean, if the space between rows of a corn crop right there off a Harvester Road, or right off there of Pittman Hill Road, that's considered cropland, Brad. I think that's probably fair.
He went on to say, I asked them if that's the planting area, then what am I cutting and maintaining? He was cutting the grass between the rows of the sunflowers because it looks like grass to me. After hearing arguments Tuesday, the judge ruled in favor of the city of St. Peter's decision. Banks says he will appeal. He says, quote, my end goal is to actually see this through finally for a jury trial in an actual independent court and let the people decide. He's going to appeal it to St. Charles County Court. Banks' neighbor, Lexi, says she visited the property herself after hearing about the case and believes the city has gone too far. Quote, I drove by his house because I was curious about this sunflower situation that seems to be so stupid to me that I had to go see it, she said. You have to go look for this house. He's in a cul-de-sac in the back of a subdivision. It's not easy to find. So it was just hard to believe that this commotion is about an invisible yard. With the judge's decision, Banks' next step is to appeal the case to St. Charles County, where he hopes a jury will ultimately decide whether the city's ordinance was applied fairly. Only then, Banks says, may he actually give in. For now, the battle over St. Peter's most famous sunflower continues. Is this just garbage? I mean,
it seems pretty silly, Brad. And I guess maybe it would be different if the neighbors had pitchforks and torches and were really mad about it. But this does seem like, when I hear a story like this, I think, has he done something else to make people at the city mad?
Well,
because it seems like they can't possibly just be mad about this.
I think this comes under the category of, hey, we set the rules, and if you don't abide by the rules, we're going to make your life miserable. Don't you think that's part of the situation here?
It could be, Brad. It would seem like that. And, don't you think in some areas, if you got a guy or a gal that's kind of eccentric, now you're going to be way biased about this considering who you are, but if you have somebody who's a little eccentric, but they're taking care of their yard, like they're actually an involved property owner, Don't you give them a little leeway?
Exactly. But see, the interesting part of this is if you would have planted roses or daffodils
Or cannabis.
or cannabis.
He would be fine. Like, now maybe the marijuana monopoly would have come after him, but otherwise he could just say, "Look, bro, it's homegrown."
You can do that now, can't you? You can plant stuff in your own yard, can't you? You can't plant, dishweed in your own
Brad,
yard.
I know you've been making that argument to the judge, but last time you went to St. Charles County and they brought you up there to the office, they said, "Knock it off."
I told this story, and John's going to go Dedham Tops again. And you know what? When John says Dedham Tops, you know what I do?
Okay, I'm going to take my headphones off. It's going to be loud.
J-A-M-F-O-B.
Yes, it's Jam Fob.
Jam Fob. Yeah,
Jam
you
Fob.
told the story before, Brad, surprisingly. What's the story?
The story is years ago I had a run-in with a mayor of a local municipality where I had some property at the time, and I got a ticket for my grass was too high. What the interesting part of that was that it was not my part of the grass. It was an easement from MoDOT, but yet I got the ticket anyway. And down the street at the corner of Page and 170, with the only windmill that's in the entire St. Louis area, is the Alberici World Headquarters. And if you drive by and if you get off the ramp on northbound 170 onto Page, you will see on the fence that surrounds the Alberici property a big sign that says Prairie Restoration in Progress. And the idea was, when I went head-to-head with the mayor, I said, how come the Alberici gets to grow their grass? They don't even cut their grass. It's 6 feet tall in spots, and you're giving me grief for my grasses is a foot tall. And he said, John, remember what he said to me?
What was that, Brad?
He said, they're effing LEEDs Platinum certified. When your building gets effing LEEDs Platinum certified, you don't have to cut your grass anymore. That's what he said to me.
Yeah, that's right. You tell him, Brad. And then you went to an AI chatbot back then, and you printed out a fake LEED certification.
I should have.
And you said, look at this.
I
The
should.
words are spelled wrong, and it's a homemade, budget-looking logo, but it says Leeds.
Yeah, but I spelled it wrong. I spelled it Leads. That's
I love, Brad. I did go to your Facebook just now to see what the hubbub and what you've been talking about. I do love the fact that you have a photo of you in front of what appears to be either 3 Mile Island or Chernobyl. And we know that it's a Brad Hildebrand creation
hold
because there are 2 words on your shirt, and they're both spelled wrong.
Okay, hold on a minute. I just got a series of texts from Mr.
That's right.
Mr.
We could
Burton.
probably discuss him off the air because I don't think he deserves any airtime.
You don't even want there. Oh, come on, John.
Hey, you know what, Brad? I don't know if I mentioned this before in A Block, but it would be a good opportunity at 8:01 when we're off the air to it'd be a great opportunity for you to reach back out to him when it's. I do believe he's wasted enough time 2 weeks ago.
Okay, he sent me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 texts. I got to read this one. Why is your co-host so butthurt?
That's terrific. Hey, Brad, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I think we're done talking about Michael Burton, and I'm not going to mention it again, okay?